He made the comment with a grin that felt colder than the marble floors beneath my feet. Everything I achieved is thanks to my sons. My daughter, she just never had the spark. The room erupted with polite laughter, glasses chiming, cameras flashing. I might as well have been a shadow blending into the decor. The child who poured years into his success yet never earned so much as a plaque or a thank you stood unnoticed again. Golden lights washed over his silver hair as he basked in praise. My brothers flanked him like heirs to a throne they never worked for, smirking as if they'd built the empire brick by brick. I watched them the same way I'd watched my father my entire life, quietly, carefully, taking mental notes. Then I rose. Every step across the ballroom floor echoed like a verdict. I handed him a small gift wrapped neatly in black with a single blood-red ribbon. From the disappointment you always talked about, I said, and turned away. I didn't need to see his reaction to know what came next. His scream carried through the hall moments after I walked out the doors. There was a time when he was a hero to me. I used to sit on the office carpet while he dissected the stock market, explaining trends like they were sacred verses. My brothers clicked his cufflinks together and played pretend, but he'd drop a calculator in my lap. "You're clever," he'd say, "but business isn't for girls." That was the first time I realized affection in his world had a price, and I was already in the negative. I grew skilled at silence, listening between his words, studying his tone with clients, memorizing how he spun half-truths into impressive deals. He called it influence. I saw it as performance. When I graduated top of my class, he didn't bother to show up. He claimed a meeting mattered more. But when my brothers launched a disastrous startup, he handed them a blank check and told them he believed in their future. I understood then, betrayal doesn't always arrive like a storm. Sometimes it drips slowly, wearing you down until you no longer feel the sting. Joining his company felt like hope at first, a chance to prove myself. I work harder than anyone, longer hours, heavier loads. He named me operations assistant, a title polished enough to hide the truth. He'd made me a secretary with better stationery. One evening while he was traveling, I finished a report in his office. A folder meant for the board caught my eye. My name filled the pages. Reassign her tasks. Good attention to detail, but no leadership capability. Keep her occupied. Remove her quietly. His signature rested at the bottom, like a final stamp. Something inside me didn't break. It settled. I didn't confront him. I didn't quit. Instead, I observed, and I found cracks everywhere. Hidden accounts, altered figures, illegal transfers shuffled through companies named after my brothers. He believed his secrets were buried deep. They were, until I started digging. Months passed as I traced every discrepancy. I understood his entire network better than he did, and I planned. A few anonymous reports to the board, a couple of carefully timed submissions to regulators, gentle nudges that would eventually topple everything he built. Nothing connected to me. He always preached that knowledge was power, never realizing I'd absorbed everything. His retirement celebration arrived like a perfect stage. A farewell party before the fall. The box gift I handed him held a single flash drive containing every rotten secret he'd buried, along with one file named after the words I said to him that night. By the time he plugged it in, I was already in my car outside, watching the building glow like a crystal lantern. The moment his face drained of color, I knew he'd seen it all. 2 days later, the investigation became headline news. His empire collapsed under the weight of subpoenas and frozen assets. My brother's finances were seized. His legacy cracked open in front of the world. Rumors spread that he'd barricaded himself in his office before officials arrived. He tried calling me again and again. He left one message: "You don't understand the damage you've caused." But I understood exactly. People ask if I regret it. Regret belongs to those who were once loved. I was never given that luxury. I didn't dismantle his empire out of spite. I did it because the scales have been uneven my whole life, and someone had to set them right. Now the company carries my signature. His old office stands empty. His fame turned to dust. As for me, I sleep peacefully. Some call it revenge. I call it claiming what should have been mine all along.